We're going to hit the recording button. Let's go in 3, 2, 1, go.
All right, so here we are. Game 3 of White Raw versus Bomber. Bomber currently up 2-0 once again. And we're going to be on Neo Enigma again in cross positions as well. Bomber's going to be here at the top left as the Green Terran and White Raw as the Red Protoss. Once again, the map is Neo Enigma, the natural expansion. Pretty small, reasonably easy to defend. Does have this backdoor to open up another avenue of attack in case this ramp does get a little bit too well defended. This destructible rock is spotted by the main base's high ground there, so you can respond to it reasonably easily. There's a Zunlaga tower in the middle of this map. This tower does get vision of pretty much everything that goes on in the center. You can see right up to the edges of the cliffs near those gold expansions, so controlling that tower will be pretty crucial, especially in the early stages of this game, as you'll be able to see pretty much any movement coming towards your base.
Yeah, so cross positions on Neo Enigma. We had this last time, didn't we?
Yeah, they were on the other sides, though.
Yeah, but I mean, it's interesting how we had the same positions on dual site. I don't remember what we had on test bug, so I'm not entirely sure about that. Actually, I think we had the same positions there again.
Yeah.
So we've had the same spawns in all of these games so far, which is very interesting. And
kind of
no, come on.
Oh, I don't mean like fishy, like it's rigged or anything like that, but yeah, forget that.
Yeah, like why would you even bring that up? The players actually took extra time to play again because those extra replays got lost. So shout outs to them and Torch, who helped us organize this entire thing and tried his best to recover the replays that were eventually lost. For those of you who are just tuning in, we already showed a full best of 7 the players played as a regame because some of the replays in this particular series were lost. And what the players did was they offered to split the prize pool between the 2 best of 7s. And that way, one player could walk away with all the money, or they could wind up splitting it, depending on how they play. And it was very good of them, and so we're showing you the replays from the series that we don't have the ending of, just as some bonus games. Once again, big shout out to nationvoice.com, putting up the prize pool for this, and doing the giveaways. If you go to facebook.com, you can like both iCCupTV and Nation Voice. Just search iCCup Television. Actually, it's facebook.com/iCCupTV and facebook.com/Nation Voice. Or you can go to Twitter and follow both of us. Once again, it's iCCupTV and Nation Voice. They'll be giving away, I always have to look at this because I want to make sure I don't get it wrong, 2 Plantronics Gamecom 1 headsets and 2 15-slot Ventrilo servers free for 3 months. And Bomber is making a Reaper, but if you are watching the VODs, it might not be too late. We'll be picking the winners of those Monday night and announcing them on Tuesday during the iCCup map series. So we've got a Reaper on the way from Bomber, probably just to scout, but you never know. I've seen QXC and Drewby both doing some pretty interesting Reaper shenanigans, but it doesn't look like Bomber's going to go that route just to scout. Those are very interesting to see. And, Reaper's 50-50. It's a pretty cheap unit. It's quick. It's good for scouting, and sometimes you can get a couple probes with it. So, pretty standard opening by Bomber, and then he makes a command center immediately afterwards.
Yeah, this is definitely a really interesting opening by Bomber. He's going to be moving around the map so he comes in, or he completely avoids this Zunlaga tower in the center, because of course Bomber has played this map a few times before, so he will be able to get into or near White Raw's base at least. I'm not sure if he's actually going to make it all the way in there. He's going to have to be careful. Fortunately, these cliff walking units can jump down 2 cliff levels at once.
He was trying to jump
really
down.
Wants to.
Oh, okay. I was wondering why he couldn't jump down that, because it's a double cliff. I was actually looking at that, and I didn't realize that that's actually 2 levels. So this Reaper's a little bit confused. Well, why can't I jump? The safety systems in his jetpack suit won't allow him to go that far. So he will actually sweep his way around, and he might actually miss his opportunity to get in the base because of this. There are some stalkers and sentries hanging up, but if he hugs the very right edge, it looks like he will be able to get up, get a free look into the base. He'll see a Nexus, 3 gateways, and a somewhat delayed robotics. And then he's just going to go to work on the probes after getting all the scouting information that he ever wanted. 3 kills. Can he get a 4th? Oh, he's going to jump right back up on top of those probes, but he does barely slip away. Can he get one more? One more. Mr. Reaper. Oh, 5 kills. And then he's murdered viciously by the Stalker. But that Reaper definitely doing a very, very good job.
Yeah, that Reaper got way more kills than 50 minerals and 50 gas is technically worth. And that gas, or a lot of those probes are actually mining gas from White Raw's base, and now he's actually got 4 probes on one of these guys just here, so it kind of screwed White Raw up a little bit. No, he's actually got this Nexus rallied to it.
Oh,
hopefully
no.
White Raw can catch it sometime soon.
Yeah,
yeah, he will catch that right away, and he will be able to move one of those probes off. He's like, oh, I guess there's probably a ton of probes on that assimilator. So good job there catching that before it kind of sits there for like the entire game.
Yeah, and this is one of those things that happens when you get harassed like that. You're clicking frantically trying to get that stupid Reaper out of your base. Ugh, so annoying. And then you accidentally click on the assimilator with your Nexus, and then you find it like, if you're not as good of a player as White Raw, you find it like 5 minutes later when you've got 20 unit workers on it. You're like, oh, I'm such an idiot. But White Raw is actually a really good player, so he doesn't quite make that mistake. And if we look at the units tab, you can see worker count is pretty even. Their armies are decent. White Raw is going to be relying on these sentries if Bomber does push out on him. But he does have some Colossus on the way as his robotics bay just finished. So once a few of those pop out, he should be alright. But once again, Bomber really, really likes getting these quick medevacs with his bio armies, as the first 2 are out already.
Yeah, and the last time we saw them play on this map, he was able to use these medevacs to drop the 3rd expansion of White Raw and do a little bit of damage to that, and that's what he might try to do if there was a 3rd base up right now, but he will load up 2 of these medevacs, fly them around the outer side of the map. Not 100% sure if the observer actually saw them load up, because it doesn't look like White Raw is actually reacting to this. So these 2 medevacs are going to be able to unload, it looks like, directly right into the main base of White Raw and start doing a little bit of damage. White Raw will respawn now, but it looks like these medevacs will still have enough space for them to actually unload their cargo, depending on which angle he actually comes in for it. Yeah, so here come these medevacs. These Stalkers are pretty much right in the perfect position to stop this. White Raw is also paying attention to that, so he will be able to react to that quick when one of these Marines isn't actually able to unload. Medevacs will have to pick up 4 of those Marauders, a few of them being left behind. This Marauder running for dear life.
Run, fat boy!
Will get cut in half by the Colossus, a gruesome death indeed. And the remainder of these forces are going to fly with these Medevacs back home to tell the tale of what's going on in the Protoss army.
They were mean to us. They were shooting us with their lasers.
In White Raw's base.
Is there?
Yeah.
I don't see it.
It's fading away now.
Okay. Might have just been a little bit of an issue on your end.
Medevac with 1 Marine in it, still hanging around here.
I guess he's just trying to show the medevac to try and force White Raw to pull some more units in this back area. But White Raw does have just a pretty well measured force of units here, with the rest of his army up front. Doesn't have too many units back there, but enough to deflect drops. It's really important that you don't leave too many units sitting in the back of your base in this situation, because against a really good player like Bomber, if he sees that you have too many units back here consistently waiting around for this drop, which is probably why he poked in again for the second time, he'll just attack in your front and do a bunch of damage. And then you'll be going, oh my god, 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 trying to select all these units and send them to the front of your base. And by the time they get there, Bomber will be stimming away with a troll face and be like, thanks for the free damage. So it's really important that when you do hang out some units in the back to catch drops, it's not too many. But it looks like Bomber's taking control of the center. He's sending this factory forward, which he might be using to try and spot up the cliff. Make sure that he doesn't lose any medevacs or units trying to poke up the ramp. If he does, that can be quite good, seeing that it has 1,200 life. It's very hard to kill. And means that it's going to be very tough for White Raw to force field and prevent him from getting up the ramp to attack. But Bomber is pulling back. I don't know if he's actually planning on using this factory for the attack or not.
Yeah, so here comes the factory. It looks like it might actually get picked off by these Stalkers anyway, as the factory not going to be able to go very quickly. But these Stalkers are away from the entire army, and they will fall back home as soon as this observer sees the force that's coming. So this factory will be able to fly away, at least momentarily. Bomber continuing to bounce around the center of the map, controlling this Zelnaga tower. Stalker's going to push forward a little bit, realizes he's got a bit of an opportunity to keep doing damage to this factory. It's now on fire, and this factory's fate is doomed, and it will go down in a fire rage, unless, of course, Bomber calls a mule on it, but I don't think he really cares about it at this point.
Yeah, I don't think he cares
so
about it that much.
So White Rod's going to continue warping in units here, waiting essentially for his upgrades to finish. Blink is on the way, level 1 or level 2 weapons as well as level 2 armor. And meanwhile, back at the base of Bomber, he's getting a Ghost Academy. And if there's one thing that, if I was playing Bomber as a Protoss player, that I saw him getting is EMPs, man. He hits the EMPs right on the money.
But he's moving in to the ramp of White Rod. Once again, he does see it coming with the observers. Does put up a preliminary Guardian Shield, trying his best to protect these Colossus from the Vikings. But this micro by White Rod isn't quite the best. He's trying to keep these Vikings away, and he was backing up some of his Colossus, but some of them just sort of stayed forward in range of the Vikings. So Bomber did take out 2 of them pretty much for free in exchange for just a couple Vikings. You know, when you're exchanging Vikings for Colossus at a 1-to-1 ratio, that's definitely a good trade for the Terran player. But if we look at the upgrades, White Rod's just about to hit 2-2. And that's going to give him a really nice advantage once that finishes. So it's probably why he's just playing really defensive right now, just waiting for that upgrade to finish. But once again, the ghosts are on the way. Those ghosts might be out with their energy up enough for an EMP if White Rod sits back for too much longer. Those EMPs, man.
Bomber's max, too. It's going to be 199 to 155 supply right now. So I think Bomber wants to just get in here, do a bunch of damage, and then remax instantly. Force fields are going to be going down right now, and not a lot of the units going to be able to cut out. Colossus going down very quickly as there are a ton of Vikings here. The Bio Army is completely shredding the remaining Gateway force. White Rod GG's. There's just too much stuff there for White Rod to deal with. 200 supply, 155, and White Rod saying that he is new to the map. That can definitely play into it.
Yeah, so Bomber just kind of overwhelming White Rod there. He did a great job with his Vikings, you know, just poking in. I like that he used this high ground here next to the third base, because with the way that White Rod was positioned, he didn't have that many units up on the top of this ramp here. So he didn't necessarily see those Vikings coming until they poked their heads in and started shooting those Colossus. White Rod did blink over there, try to kill them as quickly as possible, but wasn't quite able to focus down those Vikings fast enough. Bomber just seems really good at those like poke tactics with the Vikings on the Colossus. Always seems to kill a lot of Colossus with his Vikings and just sort of wear down that Protoss army before he runs in with his main Bioforce. And it's a really key point because he's doing that without taking any damage